Hi, my name is Jonathan Creech. This presentation is for marketing management class at Amberton University. My marketing strategy presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about recommendations for LexisNexis risk solutions. We're going to be going through a high-level summary, then we'll talk about the LexisNexis as a company overview. We'll go through the marketing plans and the aims and objectives, talk about how their particular position in the market works with Porter's generic strategy. And we'll go over their target market, their positioning, the market strategy, how that'll all lead into the promotional strategy that we're going to be using for LexisNexis. And lastly, we'll talk about some contingencies to make sure that we can adjust as we're going through, because no plan is going to go exactly as we thought. So, high-level overview is that LexisNexis uses broad differentiation, and it's a company that is seeking to do business with other businesses, and because of the nature of doing business with other businesses, in marketing, it's more difficult to narrow in on exactly who you're going to. Spreading out TV ads and things like that will be a little more difficult. So we're going to be using social media to help us target directly to our audience so we can deliver the content we want and bring those leads into our sales teams. So LexisNexis Risk Solutions. Who are they? So LexisNexis is a leader in providing data insights to help businesses make crucial business decisions. They have data that allows them to have deep analytics into having answers about consumers in various spaces. They have products in the insurance area, collections and recovery, financial services, law enforcement, public safety, healthcare, government, and corporations. So when insurance, when a consumer is going in to get a quote, it helps the consumer get a lower quote because they can do better segmentation of their consumer base. For financial services, it can help banks extend credit to someone who doesn't have a large credit file, and they're using alternative data sources. For law enforcement, they can see the relationships between people and help law enforcement find individuals they're having difficulty find. Healthcare, bring down fraud and claims, and corporations that have fraud, waste, and abuse resources for them. So it's a pretty broad swath of the market, but it's targeted on anyone who's trying to assess risk of consumers. And it's almost exclusively business to business with a few minor exceptions. So they operate in over 100 countries across the world. The largest segment of their business is in the United States, but they now are operating globally. New ventures in Brazil. Their clients include 8 of the world's top banks, and they have 95% of the U.S. insurance market cornered, with the contributory data coming from them. So when we're looking at marketing plans, names, and objectives, one of the biggest difficulties that LexisNexis has is they actually kind of have a muddied brand. You'll see here on the slides that you'll see LexisNexis and then LexisNexis Risk Solutions. It comes from their history of how they came about. That LexisNexis is a legal analytics company, and that birthed eventually LexisNexis Risk Solutions. Now they've completely split from an operations and their objectives, yet because of its roots, the two are kind of linked together. So people in certain areas recognize LexisNexis very deeply, but LexisNexis Risk Solutions is a fairly new brand and it's not as well known. So getting that brand awareness is going to be really important. So getting that brand awareness is going to be the thing that's really important for them. and driving sales. So because awareness is kind of low from a brand equity standpoint, we're going to be trying to drive awareness greatly so that we can funnel that into interest, because once people become aware of these solutions, which there's not a lot of competition for, competitors in the market, once they become aware of this, interest is going to be easier to drive, and the sales teams are going to be able to bring people to decisions so we can actually have some action. So using that AIDA or ADA sales marketing format to lead to sales. So when we examine Porter's generic strategies, to get an idea of what direction to go forward specifically for LexisNexis, because they have such strong offerings in their space, they're really going to be more towards differentiation instead of cost leadership. And then, as we've already seen where they're positioned in the market today, they have customers with 8 out of the 10 largest banks, and they have business in over 100 countries. They're going to have a broad swath of customers going after. So using Porter's generic strategy, they're going to be going off for broad differentiation. So they want to be able to a larger audience explain how they have explain how they can drive value for those, how they can differentiate themselves, they can drive value and show how their solution is really the best. So the other thing that's a little strange about LexisNexis that makes it a little difficult to look at in a traditional marketing sense is they actually don't have a clear competitor. No single in some of their individual products in the industries that they're in, they have some competitors for those individual products, but as an overall company, they don't have any one direct. The closest ones we can look at are maybe Equifax or Dun & Bradstreet or Experian, the large credit unions. But even them, they have a more specific segment that they're going after, and they don't directly compete with LexisNexis. So that the big thing here for LexisNexis is that because they have a lack of brand recognition, we're going to be looking for a solution on that. So LexisNexis is going after 99.9% of their business is going to be with businesses. So that's going to be their target. Their target is going to be businesses, as we mentioned earlier: insurance, financial services, collections, recovery, government, law enforcement, and corporations. So they're going to be going after those market segments, and they're going to be going after business decision makers at those areas. So when they're targeting, they're going to be looking for those industries, and they're going to be looking for job titles of decision makers, so CEOs, CFOs, any chief decision maker within a corporation is going to be the ones we're going after. And the way this is going to be positioned is because most corporations just don't know about these offerings, we're going to be able to demonstrate to them we can reduce the risk, we can increase their effectiveness with superior data, with big data that LexisNexis comes and brings to the table that others just can't. They can help them make better, smarter decisions. And we're going to be positioning with responsibility. So we'll look at somewhat similar companies like Equifax, putting off that we have high that security and responsibility in our society is extremely important to us. But comparisons to our competitors are going to be a little thinner. So our marketing strategy is we're going to be using social media to fit these pieces together. Difficulty with business-to-business marketing is that you can't just put up an ad and expect to be able to get it to your target market. So with social media, we have a lot more specific information about who we're marketing directly to. If we look at current data, we'll see with some of our loose competitors that we have really a smaller footprint on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We have a much smaller footprint in those areas right now. So this becomes a ripe area where we can start increasing the footprint of LexisNexis to get their brand out and bring those leads into the sales team. So we're going to be matching these people directly with the media that is going to be most useful to them. So it will be how we'll promote this is we'll build personas by industry, and we'll build personas by role, and we'll match the content we have available, the white papers, the videos, and so forth, with those personas we build by industry and by role that have the overall branding of our big data and our responsibility embedded in them, so that's continuous throughout. And then we're going to be doing this as what's called native advertising, where we buy ads directly in line with people's feeds on Facebook and LinkedIn. So as they're going through their normal feeds, these are going to be in line with them and matched with areas where they're already showing interest and matched by their industry and role. And then what's going to be really important is to have some marketing automation to go with that. So when they do click one of those links in there and get to a white paper and give us their email address, or click and get to our website and show some interest, marketing automation will allow us to follow up with them automatedly. And it will also allow us to see that person throughout their journey, so we can automatically qualify that for our sales teams. So with all that, we want to make sure that we don't have failure. Okay, so we want to be able to stay agile. So we're going to be doing A/B testing with any of the messaging that we're doing to the industry and the personas that we build, and we're going to be testing how broad we want to press down. So start with smaller tests and build those, so we can keep them agile and see what's working. Also, with the leads that then start coming in, we want to do monthly and quarterly surveys to our sales team to say, hey, we're seeing that these are qualified leads. Are they useful? Are they showing they qualified? So we can dig into the data, and if the sales team is telling us no, they're not qualified and useful leads, so we can dig into the data and find out why. So in conclusion, LexisNexis is a broad differentiated risk analysis company. They work with businesses, so they're going to be seeking other businesses to do business with. And the way we're going to be targeting our groups to market to is we're going to be using social media that allows us to look at the industry that someone works in and look at their job role, so we can get directly to the people, the advertisements we need to bring in those sales. Thank you.